Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another episode. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Merida being the safest city in all of Mexico and about how safe it really is out here in Merida. So, without further ado, let's get on the bike and go for a ride. In today's episode, we're going against the grain. Actually, yeah, sorry, I just started off on the wrong side of the street. Actually, in today's episode, we're going to be talking about Merida being the safest city in all of Mexico. Basically being the safest city in all of the Americas. So, that's what we're going to be talking about today. That's it. You know, how safe this city really is. So, you know, we're going to be talking about that on, you know, just about randomness, you know what I mean? You know, just all kinds of things about how, you know, what I think, you know, coming from a really dangerous country and coming from a dangerous city, because I am originally from the United States of America. That's right. Go Team America, right? But, you know, the reality is that, you know, where I come from is actually, in my opinion, you know, more dangerous than here. But again, you know, that's not what we're going to be talking about here today at all. We're just going to start talking about and dispelling some myths about how safe it actually is out here. And I've talked about this before in other previous episodes on, especially on the other channel and stuff like that. That's definitely a major topic of discussion on here, because a lot of people have concerns about coming to Mexico, and just because of the safety, you know, the safety being a major issue. But the reality is that, you know, depending on what you consider safe, that is, you know, depending on how you're going to look at Mexico. So for me, Mexico is dangerous, but in other, you know, in ways that you're probably not even thinking about. So for example, you know, one of the dangers out here, you know, for me, is just, you know, having a lot of potholes. When you're walking or on a bike or on a motorbike or even in a car, you know, if you hit one of these deep potholes, even if you're in a car, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna definitely hurt. So that's a danger. If you're in certain touristy areas, you know, of Mexico, let's say like Cancun or Acapulco and so on and so forth, you know, there's a danger of falling into tourist traps. You know, there's a danger of that here too. But the reality is that on a day-to-day basis, you know, Merida is extremely safe. In fact, like I said, you know, you don't have to take my word for it. You can look at the actual stats, the actual statistics, the actual, you know, things that measure the safety of a city, and go from there. So I just wanted to show you, see, like they're just getting work done. All right, we're gonna be crossing this street, and I wanted this guy to get in front of me so you can see this guy. So, in today's episode, and in other episodes going forward, what we're gonna be doing is just taking little bike rides or walks and talks, and talking about these subjects, okay? And today we're just talking about safety. And I'm just, like I usually do, just get on the bike or just get the camera and just start talking. You know what I mean? Basically just start riding and walking and just start talking. And, you know, I get, you know, all the time, you know what I mean? All the time in my videos, in the comments section, and emails. And, you know, if it's like number one most requested thing to talk about or concern, it would be things, you know, of the nature of safety, because there's a lot of safety concerns here, you know what I mean? Again, especially if you come, you know, just going to any other place in which the language is different, you know, that alone is a safety concern. Again, you know, some people, I keep forgetting that I myself speak Spanish. I was born and raised speaking Spanish and English. So coming out here, you know, in fact, people always asking me, he's like, damn, you speak so good Spanish. Where are you from? And so, you know, that's what I get out here, you know, and it's like a topic of conversation. But the reality is that I understand how for many people this could be a very difficult thing to just say, you know, to just be like, this is easy. You know what I mean? You know, I can tell you, you know what I mean? Like, the safety concerns are a little bit more elevated, because as safe as it is out here, I mean, I understand if you're like, let's say, a single woman, and you know, you got to get from point A to point B, you might not just hop in any taxi. You might feel safer using Uber, okay? And just things like that, you know what I mean? And it's totally normal, totally obvious. Look, for as safe as this city is, there is still crime, things still happen, and you know, it's a city. At the end of the day, there's over 1 million people that live here, and we got to remember that. And you know, right now we're just going through mostly residential type neighborhood, and we're going, you know, we got the park next to me and things like that. But the reality is that, you know, this happens to be one of the safest, you know, one of the safest places in all the Americas, not just Mexico. It's obviously the safest city in Mexico. But, you know, from talking to other expats that come from other dangerous parts of the world, and now they're out here, living out here in Mexico, not Merida, but in Mexico, they say that, yeah, not only is it crazy safe in Mexico, but yeah, even Merida itself is not the safest. You know, that there are actually other safer places in Mexico, safer than here, if you can believe that. And for me, I mean, it's still hard to get used to how safe and chill it is out here, because I come from Miami, and in Miami, it's like you gotta fucking sleep with all your eyes open. Are you kidding me? You know what I mean? So your own family members will fucking stab you and steal from you and shit. That's where I come from. You know, that kind of life, that kind of world, that kind of situation. And wherever I've traveled, you know, I've been pretty, you know, pretty vigilant of all of these things. So, okay, so by the way, real quick, you know, before I get a little bit too sidetracked, which I'm probably already too late in the episode, but what I'm doing is I'm just basically going down one street, taking it as far as it can go, and then turning around. And then I'll probably put this on the map. All right? You know, I'll probably do a little map here, so it'll be easy for you guys to kind of get an idea of where I'm traveling through. Anyways, but yeah, you know, we just out here chilling. So we are basically going due east. Okay, that the whole time that we've been, notice I haven't made any real turns. I've just been going in one direction, and that direction is due east. And I'm just gonna be doing an episode like this until I finish talking about whatever I'm talking about. And then once we get to the end, I'm gonna turn off the camera and film another episode on the way back. All right, that's just what we're doing today. Trying to do some double duty. You gotta get back on the bike, get back on the ball. But anyways, you know, safety is a concern no matter where you are, where you live, where you go, and so on and so forth. It's just a fact. It's just a fact, you know? And the safety, again, there's like a million things. You know, to me, you know, there's other people that call me, you know, like the safety concerns that they have. So the safety concerns that they have aren't just like about the neighborhood or anything like that, but they have more to do with like, for example, is it safe to have my kids out there, to raise them? You know, to have them in the schools with other Mexicans and shit like that. So again, yes, it's very safe out here. In fact, it's a lot safer here than back home. All right, trust me. I grew up and I went to school back home, and I see how it is out here. It's like, man. So anyways, all right, so definitely safer out here. Definitely less, you know, there's less people on the street willing to do horrible things to your kids. All right, back where we come from, you already know. It's not that free per se, you know what I mean? You can't necessarily let your kids even go across the street to play in the park sometimes. All right, that's just the reality. Out here, it's just like back in the day. You know, you can just let your kids, you know, out, and then they come back when it's dinner time, you know, type of shit. You know, so that's that. definitely safer when it comes to that. Well, another safety concern people have is I have a lot of people that are you know, just older, you know, let's say retirement age and stuff, and their safety concerns are, you know, they've already lived life. They've already lived life and been through it and all that shit. You know, the real safety. The real safety, the real concern with their safety is more about, like, are the hospitals good out here? Is the medicine good out here? And so on and so forth. Because, yeah, you know, you can definitely see a doctor for a couple bucks. You know, literally a couple bucks, like $2, $3, and you see a doctor. Or, you know, you can pay American prices out here for doctors and medicine. And they have all ranges of all kinds of things. So, for example, let me give you a quick example of Christian's grandma, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to be putting anybody else out there. Grandma's the only one that I can... Okay, so by the way, we're more into the residential area. We're going deep into the east. Notice nobody's wearing a fucking mask out here. Very rare, all right? So, again, that's why I decided to move out here, you know, more into this area and get out of the centro. Because, anyways, all right. So, but yeah, you know, so people are asking me about that. So grandma, for example, she had, she was not feeling good. She was not feeling good. She was feeling a little sick, a little whatever. I'm giving you a super long story short. We were gonna take her to her regular doctor, you know, that's only gonna charge her like $3, $3 US. But another family member was like, no, let's not do that. Let's take her to the specialist and a really expensive doctor, and let's take her here and do this and do that. And we did that, and she got misdiagnosed. And she was still in pain. She was still not getting better. It was all these fucking things. And then eventually, you know, me and Kristen said, you know what, let's just take her to your regular doctor. We took her to a regular $3 doctor, and the regular doctor said, hey, you just got kidney stones. Gave her some medicine, boom, 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 she's all better. And that's it, you know, very easy. Wasn't really like that huge of a problem per se. All right. I have other friends out here, you know. Now I'm gonna talk about other individuals, not naming any names or anything like that, in which they, you know, have gone to the doctor, and they've gotten mixed results as well. You know what I mean? Where they've gotten amazing results from cheaper doctors. You know what I mean? And they've gotten amazing results from more expensive doctors. And the thing is that out here you can shop around. You can get a second, a third, a fourth opinion, and you're still probably paying $10 total for all those doctors. Or maybe a little more, let's say 25. You know what I mean? Whatever, depending on how expensive you want to go to these doctors. You know, some doctors, you know, out here, in some places out here, are in the whatchamacallit range. You know, like a doctor out here might be more like the $25 to $30 range, give or take. And that's for like a specialist doctor, if you want to go to a really good doctor, a really fancy, nice doctor. But the reality is that, you know, most doctors out here are pretty cheap. And so is the medicine and stuff like that. In fact, I've been to doctors a few times, and the medicine, a good majority of the time, is more expensive than the doctor himself. And the reality is that it's not that the medicine is expensive out here. As you already know, everything is crazy cheap out here, but the medicine just happens to be cheap, you know what I mean? But still, the doctors are cheaper, you know what I mean? If you can even believe that. And that's the truth, you know what I mean? Like I've said this, you know, this is not about health, you know, we're not talking about health or anything here. We're just gonna be talking about, I forgot what we were talking about the safety of this city. That's right, how safe it is. But look at all these little carts. You see these little carts, like the guy in front of me, the green and the red? So these guys right here, those are like little motor taxis. So in these areas, they got more of those. All right, and you're able to very freely, you know, get one of those taxis, and those taxis will take you pretty much anywhere and back and forth. I got them in my neighborhood. They definitely have them in this neighborhood. So, yeah, so you got that, you know what I mean? You got that whole thing with the little motor taxi. So it's, again, you can just pop in one of those little taxis, and for like 10 pesos or like 20 pesos tops, bucks, like 50 cents to $1, they'll take you wherever you need to go. Anywhere but the centro. How's that? And they'll go anywhere but the centro. Look at this dog. Almost got me run over by a dog here. That dog is, look at a pregnant dog. So we're definitely in the shady part of the neighborhood here. But again, you know, like, it's not that shady. You know what I mean? Like, where I grew up, it was way shadier and way worse than it is here. This just seems like a, you know, poor, working class neighborhood. I live in the middle class neighborhood. Okay? And that's it. So we are literally now at El Periférico. So we are on the eastern side. All the way on the eastern side of El Periférico. What is El Periférico? It's the highway that goes around of Merida. So I'm gonna give you a quick little, I'm gonna show you here. All right, you can get an idea. So you can see, like, that's the highway back there. This is like the road. See, that's the highway over there. I'm trying not to get in the middle of the highway. I'm in the middle of the highway, but anyways, oh, you guys can get an idea. Here, I'm just gonna park over here for a second so I can show you guys in a little bit more detail. So this street right here is the street that goes parallel with the highway that goes around the Periférico. So basically, you know, if you've ever been on the highway, you already know you go on the highway and then this is the exit. That's the exit to the highway, and then it takes you to, you know, the next exit. Like, if you want to get off on this street where we are now, for example, you can't, you know, you get off the highway way behind here. All right, here, I got some traffic. I don't want to hit this guy here, but you know, you will get off. You might not be able to see it, but all the way at the end over there, there's another exit, and then that exit will take you down here so you can get out off on these streets. But this is the highway, and again, it's just like a regular highway anywhere else. And then on the other side of El Periférico, there's even more stuff. But the rule of thumb here for Merida is stay within El Periférico. That is the rule of thumb. Okay? You know, basically out here, you know, we're at the easternmost edge of El Periférico. How it works is like this. El Periférico means the periphery. So the periphery, this is the highway that goes all around the city. It's a highway that's around the periphery of the whole city. Now, on the other end of the highway, that is the other side of the periphery, the other side of El Periférico, and there's tons of people that live out in those areas. But basically, I know it's loud, but I just wanted to be out here for the purposes of you know, talking about this. But when you get to the other side of El Periférico, basically you're on the other side of the train tracks. Right now, we're on the good side of the train tracks. Basically, every video that you see on my channel and everything I've ever recorded has been on the good side of the tracks. Now, once you get to the other side, it's the other side of the tracks. Now, it's not to say that it's dangerous over there. It's not to say that it's horrible on the other side, but it is definitely a little bit more dangerous, definitely a little less desirable, and definitely less city and more open space, more rural. Okay, so the further you go out, the more rural it gets. Now, the periphery has many areas. When you go to the east or the west of the city, the peripheries on the east and west, you know, again, it's a continuation of the city, but again, it's more residential on that side. We're on the east side now. It's more residential and just poorer areas, but that's it. It's not really anything other than that. All right, it's just that. But when you go to the southern part, all right, everything that's south of the Periférico for the most part, especially in the area of Canacin, which is, you know, K-A-N-A-S-I-N, the area, you know, the area of Canacin, you know, that area is dangerous. That area is actually probably the most dangerous part of Merida. But again, if you come from Baltimore or you come from Detroit, are you kidding me? It's not, you're fine. You're fine out here. So, you know, with that being said, you know, right now we're on the eastern side of the city. Oh yeah, and if you go on the northern side of the Periférico, on the northern side of the Periférico, remember the northern part is where all the nice, fancy, expensive things are. So basically, the further you go north of the periférico, then all of a sudden on that side, you know, that's where you get the golf course. That's where eventually you get to the beach and so on. And there are poor areas out there, and there are, you know, areas over there that are a little less desirable. But for the most part, anything north of the city is very expensive and highly desirable. Everything south of the city is very cheap and very less desirable. And then when it comes to the east and the west, it all depends. I feel like more expats are towards the west than on the east, and there's more real Mexicans, more middle-class Mexicans on the east side, which is where I'm at. All right, guys, well, it's really about to start raining and start pouring, all right, as you guys can see, all right? So I gotta get on the bike and I gotta start pedaling home, and I gotta record another video. So with that being said, this video's over. All right, thank you so much for watching today. I really hope you appreciated today's little tour, little talk. I'm gonna be making more of these. In fact, I'm gonna go make one right now. So with that being said, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit that bell icon, but more importantly than anything else, please stay awesome. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.